Two major things stick out for me immediately from your opening statement. You've talked about how the service chiefs, the president has changed them at last. However, you say you hope that the president himself also saw the need. He wasn't just responding to people speaking. Now, people will say that we can or we should be able to see if he saw the need from the people that he's brought on board. Yes, the roads may be rough that lie ahead of them, but from what we have seen, they are no strangers to the game. The Chief of Defense Staff, the new Chief of Defense Staff, used to be the commander of Operation Lafia Dole. We've also seen the new Chief of Army Staff, who's been in service for quite a while. At least those two stand out immediately for us. From the new hands that we've seen brought on board, do you think that the president himself saw the need to change service chiefs?
Well, first of all, you can't bring strangers to assume responsibility. They have to come from within the armed forces. That is both a positive and a negative. The negative is that, so you remove generals and you put generals. The same people who are fighting the war and dealing with a decade-old insurgency and multiple other threats are now in charge. So all you've done is to replace personnel, which happens everywhere and every time. So I don't think that it's an issue that you put new people to take charge. What is important is the president, between them and the president, we must see a radical and genuine improvement in the capacities of our armed forces.
Yeah, I'm talking about the precedents of the people that he's put there.
Well, I don't know what their precedents are. Like I said, what is important, you cannot establish, for instance, there is a hierarchy, there is an order in the military. I'm afraid you just have to deal with what you have. We've worried for a long time about the long-term stay of the old service chiefs, and this is what happens. When they go, what do? You have to bring up people who are more or less part of what they did. So that's where the problem is. We don't want to raise our expectations beyond what is realistic. But at the same time, we have to assume that between the new service chiefs and a president who now recognizes the fact that he needs, hopefully, he needs to he needs to raise his personal commitment to the defense and security of the country. This, he has to have more hands-on responsibility. He needs to keep a closer eye on what's going on. He needs to hold the new service chiefs accountable. He needs to make sure that the changes that are going to be brought into the conduct of the military, professional standards, integrity within the military, morale of the fighting forces, changes in tactics and strategies, all these are important. So the nation is going to give, 6, 7 months to see whether the president has made the right decision in trusting these guys with responsibility to lead the military, and whether they have the capacity to do something different from the predecessors that they took over. If we don't see these changes in the next few months, then clearly it's just simply is the result. The outcome is that Nigerians will say, "Oh, what difference does it make? These are the same people who were fighting this war before. You just gave them new responsibilities, but the system has changed." The key is the president. He has to change his attitude to the defense and security issues of this country. You cannot run a country facing all the challenges we are facing in this country with this distance that you maintain from what is going on. You listen to the president and his spokespeople, and they are telling you, "Oh, the situation is better than it was in 2015. There are no bombings in urban places." It's a very disturbing thing when you hear this. People give you the impression that even the fight against Boko Haram now is virtually finished. Every day you hear the president's people say, "Oh, Nigerians are ungrateful." Just look at the records of the administration. Well, we'll look at the records of the administration. The truth about it is that, okay, there are no bombings, there are no suicide bombings now, but the population of Nigerians who are living with and under Boko Haram, it's large, it's huge, and it's unacceptable.